This is the long-form panel, which is about really long pieces of metal. Going to do a metallurgy class, bit of welding. No, actually, no. We're going to talk a bit about, obviously, YouTube videos that are a bit longer than we're accustomed to, and whether it's a viable means of making videos. My name's Neefsy, by the way. This is the first time I've hosted one of these things, so it's going to go to shit. So the best thing to do, I suppose, is for you lot to introduce yourselves. So let's go along here. Introduce yourself, tell everyone about your channel or whatever, and we'll do that. Welcome. Hello.
It's just the norm now. We don't need to say it. Just
welcome to the in-joke panel. Hello, my name's Jack Howard. I have my own channel called Jack Howard, and I have a channel called Jack and Dean. I make short videos and also long-form videos. I mostly on other people's. It is mostly on other people's channels. So I made a web series with Tim H and Kieran and Sammy and Tom and the Curtain Man in the front row. Yeah, I did that, and now working on other stuff that's hopefully going to be longer as well, maybe one day, but like that's what I've done in the past. So there we go.
Go, Tim.
Yeah, so I'm Tim H, and I run a channel on YouTube, youtube.com/Tim H. And yeah, I started off as kind of like a sketch comedian, I guess, but as time has gone on, I found myself endeavoring more and more into long-form content, whether that's an extended sketch that goes on for longer than about 2-3 minutes, or a fully blown short film. And indeed, I am responsible for Project Library amongst with these very talented people on this panel. So yeah, that's me.
Cool. I am Kieran O'Brien. I am a cameraman, really. I don't do YouTube myself, but I do a lot of YouTube for everyone else. So yeah, I'm a gun for hire, and that's pretty much me.
That's his second job.
Yeah.
I'm Anna, and this is Jonathan.
Hi.
Good. And we are the Sakoni Jolies, and we have a daily vlog channel where we upload every day, and our episodes are usually about 20 minutes long.
Yeah, that's every day 6 o'clock at Sakoni Jolies or youtube.com/LeFloof before Google Plus changed the name.
Cool. Yeah, I'm Sammy, youtube.com/Sammy. I do sketches that are perhaps a little longer than usual, but I also work on a lot of other stuff. Tim and I have done a lot this year. I think we've now made 3 short films this summer, which are all kind of more long-form, higher scale. I was going to say hold for plane. I realised we're not filming.
Oh, that's so funny.
Just inherently like, don't talk when there's a plane. No, I was also involved in Project Library and that kind of stuff, so I'm kind of on the team, basically.
Hey, I'm Tom. I make sketch comedy. Anything really long form about what I do is the duration between video releases. But, yeah.
Awesome.
I don't know why I'm here.
Great.
No, I really want to do a lot more long form things, and but I have a bad habit of compacting entire narratives into 2 minutes, even if they should be an hour long. I have problems. Hazel.
I've literally just broken a nail, like right this second.
Is there a doctor in the house?
That is so upsetting. Hi. Yeah, to be honest, I don't really do long form either, in the sense that I think when you think of long form, you think of like sketches and scripted pieces. I started out doing vlogs, sorry, my channel's ChewingSand, started out doing vlogs that by Kieran's rules were 3 minutes and no more than 3 minutes.
Boring. They were boring.
And thanks. And they just started kind of getting longer and longer. So I suppose I'm interested in kind of asking the question of whether longer vlogs or longer sort of daily vlogs could be considered long form content too. Also made a short film, which would be, I suppose, the most sort of long form by the correct terminology that I've done. And I'm working on a web series at the moment, actually, with Sammy. So yeah, that's me.
Well, that's cool. Now we all know each other. Let's talk about the topic in hand. So I guess the best place to start is why do we think that YouTube is so much more suited to shorter things than longer? Why is that sort of an accepted piece of wisdom? Anybody?
I'll start this if you want.
Go ahead.
I think that that with YouTube, the difference with that and television is that you can always just change whenever you want. Like obviously you can do that with television, but you always have your hand hovering over a mouse, or you have like another web page open, you have Twitter open or something like that. So it's very easy to just turn off and go somewhere else. Whereas with short form, it's like grab your attention, get it started, get it finished, and then that's it. But I think at the moment it's kind of going another way because even vlogs are becoming longer, like and we're all becoming more experienced in what we do. So we're wanting to kind of tell bigger stories and that sort of stuff. So. And I get comments all the time saying you should make them longer, and I'm like, oh, this is not what I've learned about the internet. So I guess it's changing, but I think it's definitely kind of like suits the shorter stuff anyway because of the atmosphere that you watch it in. Anybody else got anything to add to that?
I definitely think short is like the inherent like nature of the internet. Be that like you're just scrolling through Tumblr or Twitter. It's like it's really quick consumption. Like even a GIF. Like there's that theory that like a GIF is like the true form of the internet. And like I think it's just about that quick consumption. So I think making long form stuff is like awesome, but it can sometimes feel a bit like fighting against the tide. And I think it's becoming more and more, like you're saying, like it's becoming more and more popular. So I hope to see it kind of continue, but I think it's definitely stands out for it. I don't think it's like the norm in any way.
I mean, Jack, you say that people ask, like, if you get a few comments asking you to make it longer, but these same people say like, do a video with One Direction.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
People don't necessarily.
I would do a video with One Direction though.
I almost did get them, like, and it really fell through at the last minute. I was going to get them on a green screen, just get them to like do nothing, like do something, and then I was going to put them in every video, just like somewhere in the background somewhere. There's like open the fridge, One Direction's in there. But yeah, so like I think the reason that there is more long form stuff on the web is because it's kind of just becoming a more respected medium, and people are opening their minds a bit. But I still think the web is predominantly a short form thingy-majiggy. And because the psychology of the web, I mentioned this yesterday, is mad. Like, if I go on someone's channel and there is a video that says, there's a video that's 10 minutes long, I can see it's 10 minutes long, I'm going to be like, nah. But if it's like 2 minutes long and it says 1 of 5, I'll be like, oh, all right, I can do that.
Yeah.
And then you watch all 5. It's so weird how we do it, but it does happen because bad brain.
But so, do we think that we're on, like, there's a cultural shift happening on the internet now where maybe people are spending more time sitting in front of the computers with like Netflix and stuff like that? Is that opening people up to the fact that you can sit still and watch something for longer than 2 minutes?
I think so. Definitely with our videos being the minimum is like 15 minutes long, up until like 20 plus minutes, and people want that, but people that watch our show are probably not the old school traditional YouTube stuff. It's more that, it's kind of a cross between traditional media. It's like the migration between long form, which is more traditional, like a show on TV that's like a half an hour long, or if you take out the ads, it's about 22 minutes for an average show. Our show is about 15 minutes on the internet, and our retention is like 98%. Most people who click on our video will watch it right to the end. And that is the key, most important fact in the YouTube video is minutes watched. And we don't have a drop off after 2 or 3 minutes. So we definitely feel that long form is good.
See, I think that's quite interesting with you guys because you're doing the sort of the vlog thing. And like we were saying a minute ago, there's kind of the unwritten rule about vlogging is like, oh, no longer than 3 minutes, blah, blah, blah. I mean, how do you think you've got around that? Like, if you can hold people's attention for that long, I mean, what is there a different sort of rhythm to it or structure in that you're doing?
I suppose like having multiple characters in the show probably makes it more interesting.
Yeah, I think the key as well is that they're never too long and they're never too short. So we've kind of figured out somehow that around 15, 16 minutes is like the optimum time for each video, because it's not so long that it gets boring, but it's just enough to leave people wanting more. And we definitely do have those comments, please upload longer videos, please upload longer vlogs. But I think because we've just found this like golden time that seems to work, if it were too long and too drawn out, people wouldn't watch as much. It wouldn't be the same. I think you still need to leave people wanting a little bit more at the same time.
I think the great thing about the internet in general, though, is that like it is this place where literally everyone is on there. So no matter what niche you know, even if it is small, like on the internet, a niche, it can still be a sizable audience. So like there are people hungry for long form content, and I think I'm a big believer in the idea that certain stories, like you play it out to what the story or what you're trying to tell is worth. Like I don't think you want to hear me talk about an experience I had on the bus for an hour. Like I'm not going to do a vlog like that, but you know, you might. But if it's a narrative and it's exciting and it has characters and stuff, then maybe it deserves to be an hour. Like I'm a big believer in like certain stories just deserve a certain amount of time, and that's kind of up to you to gauge. But like ultimately, if it's entertaining, people will watch it. If people aren't bored, then you've done a good job.
What's interesting is I think you can actually, you know, credit audiences wanting longer stuff on the internet to people like vloggers and actually gaming channels, because these videos are now clocking in on average at 10, 20 minutes, and you know the pros and cons of that are that a lot of people are saying we want longer content, like they're opening their minds to longer content, but the problem is also they're asking it of people like us, which is very difficult because it's not like a gaming channel or a vlogging channel. You know, if I want to make something a minute long, that can cost maybe £500 to £5,000. And then making it 2 minutes long is just that again. Like, so it gets exponentially more expensive the longer it is.
Yeah, I guess it's different with scripted to reality. Like, if you're just filming your life, you're doing one take of your life, and then that's just it. You're happening there. But with scripted stuff, there's a lot more before and after it's filmed. And I needlessly mentioned Netflix. I think Netflix is a testament to, and we thank Netflix, I think, for existing.
Praise Netflix, everybody, praise Netflix.
Improving everyone's attention span with the internet. It's like if you have your computer and Netflix, you're not like waving the mouse around. You've got it full screen, you're watching it, you're enjoying it, still on your computer, on your laptop or anything. And I think that's translating over to YouTube as well. And I hope anyway that when scripted stuff starts becoming bigger on YouTube and there's more, like, because Netflix pour loads of money into making original content, whereas like no one on YouTube is really doing that yet. Like not for like fictional scripted stuff.
It's because nobody has any money.
Well, like a bit.
I think the thing is though, YouTube are as well. So I used to work at YouTube. I'm now a full-time creator, and I think like being on the inside, you see that they're really keen on doing this as well, and it's nice to see that like the organizations themselves, like Netflix and YouTube, are seeing this. And like there's this kind of an analogy internally that we joke about. I don't know if any of you guys are from America. They have this food called Hot Pockets. So it's basically just like quick, easy microwave meals. They're not particularly nutritious, but you know, this is kind of what people want on the go. And we have this like Hot Pockets versus, you know, haute cuisine kind of analogy for YouTube as well. So it's whether or not you want quick bite-sized chunks that they're just simple, you know, kind of entertainment, versus maybe something that's longer. And this obviously isn't always the case, but maybe something that's longer and scripted, has a narrative, is more educational, or, you know, it's kind of more, I suppose, nutritious for the brain in some way. So I think that they've really copped onto that, and now they're trying to sort of, you know, fund projects as well and work with YouTubers in the UK and the US and all around the world to like do longer stuff, and they're really encouraging that. Unfortunately, that's just not really scalable, is it? Like, you know, you can pick 5-10 people and give them a lot of money to do something, or you could, you know, pick 100 and they'd make lots of short stuff. So it is really difficult, but I think that's a nice kind of way of looking at it, like what the audience wants.
I think there was something interesting touched on just a minute ago that I think we should probably talk about. And it's a relatively new thing, but there's something about the algorithms favouring like watch time rather than sort of clicks or whatever. I mean, is that a new thing? Because I always thought it was like how many plays you got.
That changed about a year and a half ago.
Right, okay.
So there was a whole new sort of redesign, which you've probably noticed on YouTube, and then the algorithm was changed as well, because what we wanted was that people's watch time would be rewarded, I suppose, so that, you know, views, it's a nice number, it's a nice way to measure something, but it's not the only way to measure something, and sometimes something will get an awful lot of views, sometimes because it's bad. You know, so I think what they wanted to do was reward people who are making stuff that people are actually hanging around for, and not just that, but actually taking into account how many people would go from that video to another video, stay on the platform, you know, go to another YouTuber, check them out as well, and kind of measuring all that. So, you know, people who get people interested in YouTube as opposed to just popping in for a one-hit wonder kind of thing. So the algorithm did change to favour that. Unfortunately, at the same time, it has started favouring more quantity over quality, I think. So the more frequently you upload, and to some degree I understand that, like if someone's only uploading every sort of 3-4 months, I suppose in some way you can think, oh, maybe they're not that dedicated to it, you know.
How dare you?
Well, what they actually might be doing is spending 3 or 4 months making something absolutely awesome, which isn't what it's taking into account. You know, I think the mentality behind it was, oh, they're not very dedicated to the channel, but what's actually happening is in a lot of the cases, there's just, you know, animators were screwed over. Yeah. So yeah, so it does favor people who upload more regularly, and then you have people sort of, I guess like me, who are then trying to sort of, what I want to do is scripted content on longer form, but what I feel like, and I do enjoy vlogs, but what I feel I have to do is keep putting up vlogs, keep getting stuff up daily, keep the sort of the hot pockets, and then, you know, have time in the background to be doing more of the proper cuisine, I suppose.
Did you get that on film, Dan? It was very intelligent.
I was mostly staring down the lens of your camera.
Oh, did you? Thanks.
And licking my lips.
So this is your daily vlogging today.
I'm daily vlogging right now. Dan is filming me doing this.
Right now.
So I gotta get them hot pockets.
Do we need to ask you questions as well, Dan?
Where did you get the curtains from? H&M. Everybody, H&M.
Not sponsored.
Yeah. So I think the thing talking about animators, I think that's quite interesting. That is the more sort of labor-intensive ways of making videos can suffer with trying to create longer things more regularly. I mean, is there any way around that? How can we solve these problems?
Go animate. Joke that no one fucking gets.
Eddie, just that one guy in the crowd.
No, it's pretty fucked for like animators. I mean, the only way that an animator could really keep afloat is to, you know, in between huge projects, you know, that are good, is to, you know, be. I'm gonna sneeze.
Bless you.
I know, I tried. Is to find a way to release something weekly, like really simple.
Look at Eageraptor.
Yeah, well, yeah, but like even.
What's that? Elaborate on that.
Eageraptor is an animator who makes very high quality cartoons, but now runs Game Grumps. And some of you may know that, but don't know that he's an animator. Maybe, who knows? But yeah, like he does videos like what, every day on that channel?
Well, I'm 3 a day.
Right. Okay. Fuck. 3 a day. And in between that, he might be animating. We don't know anymore. But like he like that's what has happened. Like he's had to do that in order to kind of keep things going.
I feel like one of the only proper ways to get, I mean, this is not so much in relation to animation as it is in relation to just anything that's high production, really, is the way to do it is you do it the way TV do it. You know, you spend half a year or something like working on a bigger scale project, and then you can briefly have regular content coming out. But it, like, I mean, if the television industry can't have, you know, like episodes of Breaking Bad happening all year round.
Why aren't there 3 episodes of Breaking Bad a day?
Yeah, exactly.
Bullshit.
Exactly. Like if they can't do it, why would we be expected to? Yeah. Like, I mean, you know, it's commonly accepted. Like, I like, you know, I mean, unlike, I guess, to some degree, you know, maybe sitcoms that are shot in a studio, they can be turned around quicker or something like South Park. But even they cut off for the season so that they have time. You know, it's like, it's just, I don't think that's necessarily an internet thing. I just feel like that's impossible for a creative person to keep up with, you know?
You can compare so much of like traditional television to YouTube in terms of like what is what. Like, you know, you have got your cooking channels, but you've also got your reality TV things, and these are the shows. The things that do well on TV, there's a direct parallel between their equivalents on YouTube and what does well. You know, the vlogging, and you've got which is the reality TV, and the fashion and the news and the pop culture news and music. Like it is just so closely looking like TV, but there isn't currently really a space to be the ABC or the NBC and the NBC, right? That's the thing. Yeah, like you can't really do the long-form, high-quality content and still have a surviving model, because you'd have to be producing so many shows at once that you're constantly releasing something. So instead of like working on something for 6 months, then having periodically released content, you need to be working on 10 things at a time, or 12 things at a time, so that each month you're releasing something new for a month. I don't know.
Can we talk a little bit about continuing series? Because I mean, if you guys are uploading every day, and like Project Library was what, once a week?
Yeah, once a week for 4 weeks.
And you know,
a month of content.
It was worth all that time.
Like,
but then
I don't know how.
I think I'm sorry, I'm standing up to try and take control of your bunch of rabble.
Sunny at the same time.
Should we stand?
Remain seated.
All right.
Yeah, I think like I suppose what I wanted to talk about was like just ways of keeping things alive for people, like if they don't, so they don't think they've already seen it. So you know, they watch one episode and go, I've seen that now. I don't need to watch any more of that. How do you keep people's attention for a prolonged, not just for a long form like of the one episode, but long form as in continuing on indefinitely in some cases?
I think what we need to see more of is like characters and character development. And Tim, you're doing that really nicely with Bad Burglars actually at the moment.
Biased, a little bit biased.
A little bit biased.
You are in it.
Well, I didn't write it. He wrote it. It's very
It's
well
really
written.
good though. Yeah, I'm such a fan.
But yeah, if you
of
haven't
that.
seen it, Bad Burglars, myself and Tim
I
started.
play
it
man
initially.
on stairs.
He was a man on the stairs. You were very good too. He was typecast for the role.
You were just there. We were just. Tom, can you move?
Focus up. We're not here to promote Bad Burglars.
Anyway, it's a series where there's these two characters and they're terrible burglars. But the point being that they're interesting characters, and we were just talking about the other day that like when you have two characters that like play off each other well, and in the first episode you leave people kind of wondering what happens to these people, and you know there's so many options for them. You can always kind of come back to that. In a year's time, Tim might decide to do another one, and those characters are still there at the moment. And I know you all fucking hate when I talk about Unnecessary Otter, but I'm doing it. Otter was a stupid thing that we made one day, and I'm happy to admit that, but what happened was 4 episodes came out of it, but after 4 episodes people kept asking for it because the dynamic between Hazel and Otter is actually quite funny and people want to see more of that. Unfortunately, I'm not sure that many people got that it was the same joke 4 times over, and while they might be happy to watch it, I'm not happy to make that, so I stopped after 4, but at the moment now the series that I'm writing actually is an extension of that, where you see Hazel and Otter sort of in their lives as opposed to always just looking down the barrel. Oh, brilliant, yeah. Great.
Keep going.
I haven't noticed.
Commit.
Yeah, commit to it.
There it is.
We'd better start again, actually, those guys.
So,
we'll give you the notes at the end.
Great, lovely.
I think adding to that though, I feel like
you have to kind of just anyway. The point being, I think if you have interesting characters, you can kind of come back to them.
Well, I'd bring that back to the point I was making earlier again about like what a story needs. You know, like there are certain stories that are kind of designed to be one-off. Like finding a sequel to Project Library would be the most clunky thing ever. Like, I don't know, he like rents another book, or I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Troy's son comes back.
You know, like it's one of those. It's
Project Blockbuster.
It's not a story that necessarily is asking for more. You know, whereas something like Bad Burglars, which you know there's a third one in the works, but. You know, what's nice is when you have characters, you know, they can hypothetically go on indefinitely. You know, that's the sitcom format, you know, The Simpsons, where do we want to see them next? You know, and you can just come up with a story based on those characters. And yeah, I mean, that's something I've like Bad Burglars has kind of naturally developed, but I definitely didn't go into it being like, this was going to be a series. You know, sometimes that just happens. But
I think I'm interested in, like, do you guys think that do you have to apply that sort of thinking when you're constructing, because obviously you edit a lot of material down into sort of 15 minutes. I mean, are you thinking like we are the characters in this? How like you're trying to present people in a way, with the drama of your life sort of thing?
With the vlogs though, it's like I feel like it's just like a conversation that we have, you know, and as the conversation evolves, you know, the story is getting more intense, and you know, there's like, you know, we started off, we were just like living in Ireland, gay dating each other, and then we got engaged, and then we got married, and then we had a child, and we had another child, and now our life is horrible. You know, and it's like, you know,
it's the best bits now.
That is going to suck for those kids when someone yells cut.
Are the children backstage?
They're running around there.
They didn't hear that then, that's right.
No, but that's it, you know, so there's like, there is a sense of, we do put out content, and because I edit it, I am the narrator of a show, and I kind of suppose like the writer in a sense. I watch it every single day, and you know, we would probably record maybe about 30-40 minutes, and then we edit down to about 15 minutes, because how you edit is how you tell a story, and how you know, so you are bringing your audience on a journey. You know, and there's a lot of stuff you feel that you look at it and you think, okay, that's an in-joke that no one's going to get, or, you know, that's something that's relevant to my life but not to how the audience want to be entertained. You know, so you are creating a narrative out of just daily life. You know, you could, if you just let it out the way it was, I don't think over 15 minutes it would be as entertaining, you know.
No, yeah, I think that's I'm quite fascinated by that, because the idea of like the same rules apply, I think, to sort of scripted stuff and to, yeah, I guess documentary stuff, is that you still, to gain and maintain people's attention, you still have to apply narrative and emphasize character and such.
Yeah, I would say, like Anna always said, like, there's like two sides to me. There's like Jumpy Jokes, which is like just on the show, and then there's like you have to be like the producer who goes into the dark room every morning and sits down and just edits the things and put it out there and monetizes and does all this, does everything about the business that this is. But then at the same time, you're putting out a show which is just kind of like fun vlogs, you know?
Well,
I'd like for Kieran to say a thing.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Sorry, I'd like for Kieran to say a thing.
Hello.
well, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there, Kieran.
That's all right.
Kieran O'Brien, everybody. Well, I think we're going to throw it open to questions from you guys. So if you all want to ask Kieran a question, that would be wonderful.
At the same time, just yell them out. Anybody got any questions? Okay, yeah, we do.
Kieran, when is the next funny cat video?
They take a long time to make.
It's an ongoing series. Where's he going? I mean, it did develop. He did end up in a desert.
It did, yeah.
That's a narrative.
Where's he going next?
I want to see the girlfriend episode.
Yeah.
You've written that one.
They just take so long to make. The writing and...
Yeah.
I mean, this gentleman here has a question and we're holding him up.
Yeah.
Do you think that like long form content lends itself better to like vlogging or animation, and do you feel like there should be a crossover or there will be in the future? Like, what's your opinion?
There kind of is. Like, and I think a lot of the time, I think we make light of, you know, vloggers, and we kind of say, oh, you know, it's so hard to do long form scripted content, and they've no idea. And actually, a lot of the time, a lot of work goes into it as well. I mean, obviously, you know, depending, but some daily vlogs, there's a lot of shooting taking place, and there's, you know, a really good kind of snappy edit. Obviously, you're talking about the music and your color correcting and everything that goes into that. So yeah, it can be hard work as well. But I think when you think about that as well, when we were talking about characters, there also kind of is a character in there as well, and you're kind of telling the narrative of your life. So if you're doing it right, and if you want to kind of be a little bit more, I suppose, you know, go with more production values, you can. And if you want to sort of script it a little bit more, you can, or be more aware of what you're going to film in advance and that kind of thing. I mean, I think long form lends itself more to a scripted piece, and yet we're seeing more and more vloggers do longer vlogs, and people are absolutely staying to watch that. So it's not something to be scoffed at either.
I mean, this isn't new though. Like,
no, not
I don't
at
know
all.
if you. I don't know if you don't. You probably won't know. Do you know who Lonely Girl 15 is?
Yeah.
Okay, so a few of you do. Okay, in the real early days,
Jack, she's
like
dead.
Yeah, she's dead now. In 2007, was it 2007? Okay, like there was a girl that popped up on YouTube, and all of a sudden she exploded, and it was nothing special. She was just in a room.
It went viral. Whoa! Girl explodes.
It was a hit. Yeah. So she was just in a room on a webcam, just talking, not even really doing anything special. She was just sitting there, having a chat, and then this carried on and carried on, and it then eventually became, it was fake. And she was hired, and it was an actress, and all of a sudden people were starting to figure it out, and it started becoming more of a narrative. And so this vlogging thing that started off a bit of a kind of genuine, this is just a normal girl in a bedroom, became actually a series, and it actually turned into a proper web series. It was shit, but it turned into a proper sort of full-on web series called Lonely Girl 15. And then she ended up getting hit by a car, and loads of stuff happened. It was weird.
I want to see this catch on. I like to think that maybe Louise's channel will eventually turn into like a 1970s cop drama, but it's just a really long lead in.
Darcy's just going to come arrest her.
You found me here.
She's actually Wonder Woman. This has been the origin story.
Yeah. Fantastic.
I'd like that.
I'd love it.
Make it happen.
Can we have another question, please?
Pick whoever you want. Yeah, pick whoever you want. Whoever
throw
looks
it and
eager.
see where it lands.
Not the man in the curtains.
Not the man in the curtains. Not that guy.
Hi.
Hey.
What advice would you give for like young creators who don't have like the money and all the time to create long form videos, but would like to like step away from vlogging in front of a camera and things?
Make really shit long form videos. Kind of just make shitty ones and then get better.
I would say I tried making films when I was like 16, and like I tried to make like a half an hour 45-minute film, and it didn't work. It failed, obviously. So then when that's why Jack and Dean happened, because it was like we can't make that long, so let's do lots of short ones. And if you put Jack and Dean together, that's kind of long form. It's like kind of episodic, but without any continuity really, other than it's just Jack and Dean. What are they up to this time? So I would say that.
I shot my first car chase scene, which was like my dad driving for me and us clumsily filming it at the age of 16. and I've shot my second car chase scene at the age of 22, with and the difference is obviously monumental. And here's the thing, like, it's surround yourself with people who are equally passionate about making, like, films, basically, like, big. Yeah, but basically, yeah, I mean, it's that, like, because the thing is, you don't, you know, you need to just have people around you who can be creative with you, and you can try and, you know, it doesn't really matter about the camera too much early on. It's really just about learning how to piece together a story and how do I make this entertaining, show it to people. Like, you know, all those awkward early films that we've all made, like, exist somewhere on the web, and it's because that's how you start, you know, and I think there's this big, people overlook the fact that, like, your collaborators are around you. Like, they're not, you know, you aspire to be as good as people who you watch, but the people who will get you there are often your age and around you, and it's that passion that will get you there, in my opinion.
So yeah. When specifically talking about, like, content making, especially low budget, like, script. Like, if it's a bad script, it doesn't matter what your production value is, it's just not going to work. Like, if the script is good, though, but I think you see it in a lot of vloggers, like, you see a lot of vloggers and filmmakers who were just always good at script, and they started off on a webcam, and this lighting's throwing me off massively. So, like, you get people who were good, and the reason they were always good is because they just put so much effort into the script. And slowly and naturally, you see the production value start to gain as more money comes in, as more of a budget comes in. But first and foremost, script doesn't cost anything, and if it's a good script, people will watch it. That's what I like.
And look at something like Draw My Life. I mean, they've been massively popular. They're shit animation, obviously, but if there's a good enough story there people want to watch. I know, like, a friend of mine has a kid who just gets action figures and, like, does these ridiculous things and explosions with, like, matches and whatever, and, like, it's so crap, but that's kind of what's amazing about it. Like, as Tim says, get used to just the idea of storyboarding something, write a good script, and start to think about what shots will look like in your head, and do it with little mini figures if you have to.
If you want a script writing program, there's one called Celtex or Celtex. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's CELTX. Google that. That's free. That's what I still use. It's great. Like, other people use things like Final Draft and things like that. But yeah, Celtex is free and it works. So, like, things like that. Yeah, you can just get used to those sort of formats. And look, like, YouTube is also, like, you can watch people and learn from them, but also Google and YouTube how to do certain things and learn from, like, people's tutorials. Of, like, people will do script writing tutorials, and there's every tutorial on the web. So, like, find things out that way. There's loads of things at your disposal.
I think that's a very good point, actually, that, you know, if you're making videos for YouTube, you're already on the internet, so you've got the world's greatest resource at your fingertips. So look into things. You know.
Google is your friend.
Yeah. Can we get another question?
I think this is going to be the last question because we've only got a couple of minutes left.
Oh, dear.
Make it good. Pressure.
Do you not think that if you're creating long form and short vlogs, that one of the formats will suffer from it or make less quality videos?
So if you're making both varieties, is one going to suffer in favour of the other? Anybody?
I think it kind of goes back to maybe my point earlier where, like, you know, making short form content, like, to close the gap between long form things. So not necessarily, you know, just making your little hazily hot pockets before you, what's the opposite of a hot pocket?
Meal. A lovely meal. Sunday dinner.
Yeah, eating your hot pockets while you're cooking your roast dinner. Fuck this metaphor. But I think you can do both.
Yeah. I don't think it'll suffer. I think it'll help. Like, unfortunately, that shouldn't be the way. Like, but that kind of is how it is in any industry. Like, there's an awful lot of musicians out there who, you know, they've written brilliant songs their whole lives, and then someone comes along with some shit pop song and does very well, and it's sad.
I think
it is how it is. But unfortunately, like, if you're doing stuff that kind of gets you known and people can get to know your personality behind the scenes, they're often more willing to get on
That's
board.
exactly what I was about to say. Like my channel, like, to use myself as an example, I'm sorry, but, like, Jack and Dean and my own channel, like, my own channel is just me talking, I guess. But then that helps with Jack and Dean because people feel like they know me more.
Well, you've missed it. You've missed out.
Yeah, people feel like they know me more. So that's kind of, like, helps when they watch the videos because they're like, oh, I know that this came from this person who I've known better because of these videos. So I think that the two can go hand in hand.
That said, you go quiet on your vlogging channel for months at a time when you're making, you know, the stuff that takes longer and more time. So I think I think there's only so many hours in the day.
Yeah, and
and
you have to
I think
keep people aware
stuff
of
goes
that.
quiet.
There's no reason they can't coexist, but like as long as you're obviously not enforcing it upon yourself, like it's like, oh, I have to make sure these things exist. Like if you are so exhausted because you're working on a long form piece, then don't force yourself to go and vlog, because odds are you won't make as good of a vlog. But like if you do feel like you have time and you're feeling energetic and you're feeling creative, then there's no hard and fast rule. It's like they will never coincide and never work together, but at the same time, it's like it can suffer. It just depends on how you're feeling and how, you know.
I think as well, a lot of the time, like people on YouTube obviously are really creative types. Like what we want to do is make stuff. That's what we're so passionate about. But we have to put on our business hats, and you have to sort of think, well, okay, if I want to make this short film and I want people to support me with that, then if I, give them something to keep going on and I let them in on what's happening in my life and maybe give them some behind the scenes and stuff, that will, help that. Maybe, no, we don't always want to sort of daily vlog and it's tiring and everything, but you have to kind of be business-minded about it and realize that that's going to help.
Okay, cool. I think we need to wrap things up. So I guess, well, I've been told that we're done. So yeah.
So shut up.
So shut the fuck up. Yeah. So I guess if we can take anything away, it's that videos should be as long as they need to be. Whatever story you're telling, whatever you are documenting, whatever you want to put across to people, it dictates its own runtime. So you just be judicial with your editing hat on, and it'll all be fine. People will watch it. Thanks, guys. Thank you to the panel. Wonderful people all. And thank you to you lot for showing up. And come back. No, actually, go to the smaller YouTuber panel at 5 o'clock, because I'll be hosting that as well. It's going to be off the fucking chain.